Yeah, so the fixtures have been announced for no date of when Magic Weekend's going to be happening. We don't know the ground, we don't know anything, but we do know it's happening, and the fixtures have been announced for that. So a little bit surprising, actually. It took me a little while to digest these. So I'll put on your screen at the minute of the fixtures for the Magic Weekend. So Wigan Warriors versus Warrington Wolves, which will be it'll be the Vegas fixture all over again, won't it, on another big stage. We've got Hull KR taking on Salford Red Devils, Lee Leopards versus Catalan Dragons, St Helens v Leeds Rhinos, Huddersfield Giants versus Hull FC, and Castleford Tigers versus Wakey. So, you know, what's your standout fixture out of them when you look at them?
Well, it looks to me, I always was under the impression that Magic Weekend was about derbies and exciting games. And I look at this as like, you could kind of say that Wigan Warrington is a bit of a derby. It's not the Merseyside derby, is it? But it is like a bit of local rivalry there. Castleford Wakefield is a derby. But I look at the others and I'm like, it's weird. It's like, it's rugby league, but it just don't feel right for some reason with those fixtures.
I think I'm the opposite. I quite like what I'm seeing. I mean, when the last weekend happened, I thought, oh God, this is just some of the fixtures just looking dull. But I'm quite liking the look of these as it stands. I mean, later on in the season, when we get to it, this is not going to be a good one. But I'm liking the derby. I say the Wakefield derby. I don't think Castle like that.
Wakefield derby.
Yeah. But Cass v Wakefield, that would be really good because Wakefield, before they got relegated, they had a few rough seasons, and Cass Wakefield derby, that wasn't too good. But I think with Wakefield, with the money behind them, I think that's looking like a really good fixture.
Well, Wakefield, they've put a mark in the sand this week and said they're aiming for the playoffs.
Grade A Wakefield versus Grade A Castleford Tigers. So it could be an interesting one. That.
What? How do you think these fixtures have kind of been created? Is it just where it's fallen in the season, or what do you think? Have they looked at position in the league? What's going on?
I'd probably just stick him in a hat, mate, and draw him out, to be honest with you.
It works for the Challenge Cup.
Well, what it is, what I've been reading about it is that you look at each of the individual placings this year. First will play third, second will play fourth, and then fifth will play seventh, and so what you're looking at with Wakefield, they will take the 12th place that have been vacated by London, and Cass, did they finish 10th? So that means they will play Wakefield.
All right, okay, there you go.
Yeah, so no, but there's definitely the big rivalries aren't quite there, are they? I mean, Saints v Leeds sounds like a odd fixture, but they got them right last year.
Yeah, they did.
I think we were exactly the same last year when the fixtures were announced. We were like, these aren't quite right. And then as it got to it, the business end of the season, it was like all the clubs next to each other in the league table who were vying for the playoffs and all the rest of it were all playing against each other. So they got it right and probably get it right again this time.
Well, Mark, we had a conversation a couple of episodes ago where we talked about the location for the Magic Weekend. What's the best location you've been to for a Magic Weekend, and where do you suggest it is in the 2025?
I've only been when Widnes were in Super League. The first two seasons it was at the Etihad, and then after that it was at Newcastle, wasn't it? And I think out of those two locations, I still prefer the Etihad. I just think it's a stadium. They're around the outside, they had the fan zone, and it just seemed like the right location. Going to Newcastle, that's a good day out anyway, isn't it? But again, for me, Newcastle just seemed a bit too big, if I'm honest. But then the Etihad, that's going in size anyway. So is that growing? I don't know. I mean, but that's the Etihad. That's where the RFL are based now, anyway, isn't it? So it makes sense to go there.
I think they should keep it at Newcastle. Newcastle's a great night out. Just so many bars, and you can go to Whitley Bay as well the night before.
Yeah,
it's the only place in Britain where you can have a lap dance and a Sunday carvery in the same pub on a Sunday afternoon.
Sounds delightful, right? By the way, I'm interested what you guys, the topic of the Magic Weekend since they tried to have it at Ellen Road. It's one that people are kind of bouncing around, but I'd really like to know what your take on is that, and also what you think about these fixtures as we work up to it next year.